Today's topic of algebra vocabulary, we're going to discuss two words: term, coefficient. That's term and coefficient. Let's talk about term. Terms can be many things. It's pretty general. It could be a variable. And remember, variables are letters. Here are a few examples. Remember, a variable can be a term. A constant. Remember, a constant is a number. A number can be a term. And these are terms in algebraic equations and expressions. A variable multiplied can also be a term. So these here that have numbers in front of the variables, 3a, again, 3 times a, 8c means 8 times c. Negative 9f means 9, negative 9 multiplied f, and 12y means 12 multiplied with y. Those are also terms, but it can also be a variable that's divided, right? And a divided by 5, c divided by 2, f divided by 8, y divided by negative 3. These are, again, examples of terms. A lot of different possibilities. Okay, but let's take a look. It's pretty simple. Here there are 5 terms. A is the first term. 7 is the second term. 6c is the third term. Negative 3 is the fourth term. And w divided by 10 is the fifth term. That's it. 5 terms there. Let's talk about coefficient, a very fancy sounding word, but it just means this. It's the number that's directly in front of the variable. And remember, that number is multiplying the variable. So here's some examples. All of these terms have coefficients. They all have numbers in the front of the variable, right? The first term there, 3a, has a coefficient of 3. It's the number in front. 12c, well, that has a coefficient of 12. 12 is in front of c. It's the coefficient of c. And negative 8 right there, negative 8 is the coefficient of v. So negative 8v, but negative 8 is the number in front. It's the coefficient. Just the number in front of the variable that's multiplying it. Let's take a look. There is one coefficient out there that's invisible. You won't see it, but it's always there. Each of these variables here have an invisible coefficient. Y, n, and negative e all have an invisible coefficient. And it's 1. Y could be 1y. 1y and y. It's the same. So there's really an invisible coefficient right there. It's 1. It's that simple. When you see a variable all by itself, there's an invisible coefficient there. Let's look at n here, right? Oh, again, nothing in front. Well, it looks like nothing, but it's invisible. It's the 1. You can't see it. So there's an invisible 1 in front of the n. But remember, we don't have to write it. It's there, but we don't have to write it. And how about negative e? I think you're getting the idea. There's a negative 1 there, not a 1, positive 1. It's a negative 1 now because you have that negative e. It's really a negative 1e. So what's the invisible coefficient? Negative 1. Right? But really, we don't have to write it. It's right there, but we don't have to write it. It's right there, but we don't have to write it. Invisible coefficient, it's either 1, or in e's case, it's negative 1. All right, let's answer a few questions here. Here we have an expression. How many terms are here? Well, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 terms. Well, how many constants are there? Remember, the constants are the numbers. Oh, there's 1. There's 2. 2 numbers, 2 constants. There are 2 constants. All right, let's take a look. What is the coefficient of the third term? Well, the third term is what? First, there it is. The third term is right there. And remember, the coefficient is the number in front. So in this case, the coefficient of the third term is 6. And for the last one, what's the coefficient of the first term? Oh, where's the first term? There it is. Oh, it's a variable seemingly by itself, but remember, there's an invisible what there? What number goes there? Again, it's a 1. So the coefficient of the first term is 1. That's the idea. Term and coefficient. Let's go take a look.